What's up? Hopefully my mic's all right. Hopefully you guys can hear me. Hopefully it's good. Start up the screen right away. Boom. What's up? What's up? What's up? Look, see what's up, guys. Guys, last day or last trading day of March. Yep. At least as far as, London session, stuff like that. Obviously, you guys still have New York and stuff tomorrow, but let's see how today treats us. We'll see. I'm honestly not too big of a fan of anything. I want to kind of go over why. We'll go over why, talk about it a little bit. But nonetheless, it's like March has just been terrible price action. What's up, Benny Boss? We'll give it a second, let some people get in here, and then kind of go over the bias for today. What's up, Chintan? What's up? What's up? What up, Joris? Turn off streamer mode. I hate that it does this. All right, so let's go over the bias. So like I was saying, honestly, I think NASDAQ, as far as like this entire like last week, yesterday wasn't looking too good. As far as the biases, everything played out, guys. Everything played out like I wanted it to from yesterday. I did say price looked better to go higher on UK 100 and DAX. We did just that, just didn't have a setup. Nonetheless, we'll start on UK 100. First things first, go to the higher time frames. Same thing as yesterday as far as the hourly. We had already tapped the equilibrium up here, or at least came within a premium pricing within this overall bearish range. But nonetheless, I was still expecting buys because we were still within this internal bullish trend on the 15-minute. We can clearly see that from an hourly standpoint. We had a pullback and we actually continued higher. So we can see that we continued higher. We made a new high on the 15-minute. Wasn't a crazy amount of displacement, but nonetheless, like we still broke and made some new highs here. So we can see that, right? So obviously, what can we assume is, one, we can assume that price is probably going to facilitate a pullback and then potentially look to go higher within this internal bullish range. But nonetheless, there's not as high of a probability that's going to go higher because of the fact that, again, we've already facilitated a pullback within this hourly leg. That could be enough to send price lower. So therefore, like, obviously, like if we see some type of buying opportunity, I'm going to buy just based off the internal trend, but accepting of the risk that, or accepting of the fact that it's not as high of a probability because we are still within this bearish swing leg from an hourly standpoint, we can come lower. Okay, so keep that in mind. But nonetheless, let's go to lower time frames. So as far as lower time frames, first thing is I would want to actually take some type of maybe sell off into the 50%. The one thing I don't like is the structure has just not been good. It has not been good. Okay. FTSE, yeah, it's the same as UK 100. So it just has not been good. Like, yes, we see price did start to facilitate some type of pullback, had some type of structural shift within here. We could say maybe we broke these lows, needed a pullback. We could look to expect price to go lower. Yes, it just, we have no real good lows to like even say we made some type of like new internal bearish structure. I guess maybe this low, but even then, that's just not the best low to play off of. It really isn't. I'll be honest with you guys. But nonetheless, we'll see what we can get into today. I may end up taking sells. And the reason I may take sells is just because, again, like we can expect that pullback into 50%, being that we did just create a bearish leg. We could take some type of sell off of this new leg here. Let's say price does create a new leg. We get a pullback and then we get that continuation back down, potentially. Okay, potentially take a rebreak of the lows and look to target at least our 101, potentially go for 102, right? But obviously the downside to this is this is still a lower probability too, I'd say, just because, again, like looking at it, we still have this internal leg here that's bullish. We could see price come down, react off of it, and go higher and continue with that overall bullish 15-minute trend. That'd be scary, but nonetheless, we still expect price to come into 50% of this 15-minute leg, so we can suggest that price should end up making that move down. I just really wish we had better structure to play off of. Obviously, just because I want it doesn't mean price is going to give it to me, but nonetheless, beginning of the year was way better as far as structure and price action. This month has just been a little bit iffy. I can't really give an average. Typically for UK 100, anywhere, especially recently, it's been higher, anywhere from 30 to 60 points. DAX, on the other hand, 100. But UK 100 typically like 30 to 60. It's a pretty wide range, I'd say, but nonetheless, I am more of like a structural stop type of person. I don't have set stops, so therefore that's why it's a pretty big range here. So like, let's say price did end up breaking these lows here during London. Honestly, I would want to get aggressive, and you guys know, like, when I want to get aggressive, it's typically meaning that I will enter at the 50% of that new bearish leg. But the reason I wouldn't want to do that in this case here is just because, like I said, being that we are still within this bullish leg and we can react higher, I would want price to, one, create some type of new bearish leg right here within the 5-minute internal price action, pull back, and then re-break the lows to confirm that, yes, we are looking to still move bearish with the overall bearish internal trend. And then we can obviously play something like this, which even then, like, I've been going back into data a lot. And there's been a couple times where we enter like this and our stops are at this new structural high, I guess you could say, from the equilibrium tap or that pullback, high. But honestly, there's been a lot of occurrences where price does this, still can come up deeper and then sell off. And like, technically speaking, my stop should still be up here, even if I do enter at a break of these lows, which overall extends our stop loss. Obviously, I'm still getting more and more data on that to see if it's really worth, one, extending my stop all the way up and still playing that overall larger move, or instead of entering at a rebreak of the lows, playing it overall more aggressive in almost every trade and always entering at the 50%. But again, obviously, you guys know what can happen entering at the 50% is price could just not react to it and go higher. And that's the fear here. So nonetheless, I think now that we're making this new bearish leg, I'll end up waiting for that pullback once we obviously make the low, re-break the lows wherever it's at, and then I'll definitely shoot on this trade. But we'll see what happens. We'll see if I enter. But like I said, it's just price action has not been the best, guys. Same thing with DAX. Again, as far as DAX within this like hourly leg here, we did now facilitate a pullback within the hourly leg, so we could assume that price can now come lower to take these lows. And that's what I'm overall expecting, is these lows to be taken, because from a 4-hour standpoint and looking at this 4-hour bearish leg, we have already facilitated the pullback within this 4-hour leg. We have now come lower, created a new hourly low, facilitated the pullback there. So what can we expect next? Obviously, in theory, price should come down and take these lows because this is a weak low, right? So that's where I can assume some type of bearish movement today. But what would really push me and like sell me over for sells is honestly a break of these lows, which is a pretty significant move. That is probably 200, damn near 300 point move, which again, like, we can see those moves happen in London session, but nonetheless, it's very unlikely. But obviously, just like UK 100, we could take a sell like once price breaks these lows and pulls back. But again, we're still sitting within this bullish leg here. Obviously, DAX doesn't look as good as UK 100 because over here we did previously have this bearish leg, seemingly had a pullback and could expect price to continue lower into these lows. Unlike DAX, where we did just have a bullish leg breaking these strong highs, and we have had started to see some type of internal bearish trend, but obviously we could be just facilitating the pullback to then go higher and, come deeper within the hourly pullback. That definitely can happen. So that's where I'm going to be a little bit hesitant, obviously. So just not the best, guys. But nonetheless, it's the last day of the month. Hopefully next month it gives us a little bit better price action. Obviously, we're not going to get a trade every single day, but nonetheless, I think we'll see something on UK 100. I don't think I've traded DAX or UK 100 in a while just because of the quality of our setups. But DAX is probably out of the picture today. We'll just see how it moves. Nonetheless, I do expect probably a little bit of a bearish move, I'd say. I can't say that for sure just because we are still bullish. UK 100, we'll see how price treats these lows. If we do get a good, nice little displacement breaking these lows, pullback, we'll enter. Okay, as far as NASDAQ, I actually like NASDAQ today. NASDAQ has been a little bit weird. But what I can see is within this hourly hour time frame, we did break and make some new lows just within this hourly structure. Nonetheless, like we are still oversold from this, previous bearish leg. Like technically speaking, we're playing within this entire bearish leg because we've had no pullbacks. So we can see overall larger move, which would be a pullback of this hourly bearish leg. But obviously we're still dealing and we're still within this lower time frame bearish leg. So I'm going to play based off what price gives me. So being that we're bearish, we seemingly had a pullback. And even if, we do want to continue higher, I do think we could see a pullback of this 5-minute bullish leg or swing bullish 5-minute leg. Now that we're sitting within the internal price action, we could go down to the 1 minute and look for some type of sells, which could be, again, like once we break these lows fully, we can just play that trend going down. And hopefully we start trending and showing some really good setups. But nonetheless, if we go bullish, we go bullish. We could end up flipping our bias, but I would probably want to see a break of these highs up here, to be honest with you guys. DAX is giving us buy sign 15-minute. Yeah, again, like we can definitely continue higher here, guys, on DAX. That's why I'm probably not going to trade it. Like obviously buys can look good and buys can definitely play out. We can overall flip trend, but just from an hourly and 4-hour standpoint, in theory, like we just have a higher probability of coming down and taking these lows at some point, which again, we don't have to, but nonetheless, the 4-hour is still bearish. The 1 hour is also showing us that we are bearish. We're just within a pullback, obviously. And yes, this pullback can go deeper within the hourly bearish leg, but obviously I need confirmation for me to even think that. And now that we're at a point where we can go bearish, I'm just less confident when it comes to buys just because of the probabilities do decrease. Now that we're sitting within a premium area, we know that price at any point can just continue its sell-off. Obviously, it can continue its buy-up, but nonetheless, it's just not as probable. Okay. Again, it's probabilities game, right? So let's go back to NASDAQ again. With NASDAQ, I am looking for price to hopefully come lower here. Nonetheless, it doesn't have to. Okay, it can come higher. But again, we can definitely flip our bias depending on how price moves once London opens. But I'm going to be paying more attention to UK 100 than anything. Okay, just because, well, we haven't even broken this low. That's kind of ugly. We'll see what happens. Obviously, we still have a couple minutes before London opens. We'll see how London Open treats price. If we do end up getting a nice little sell-off during London Open, we can definitely take some sells. Nonetheless, like I said, I really don't think I want to take a sell from the 50% point. I may, but at the same time, it would be playing it a very risky just because of the fact that we know that price could still be reacting within this bullish leg here. Okay. It's just overall not too promising. Like even then, like almost UK 100 still looks pretty fucking bullish. Like rather, other than the fact that we haven't facilitated a deep pullback within this overall move, we're still reacting in a way that could push prices higher. And that's why I need that double confirmation of a break, a pullback, and another break to confirm the overall direction today. It's just one of those months, guys. Like honestly, like I think the biggest thing, like especially for you guys, is like survival. And that's for everyone. Like if there's a bad month, like the best thing that you can do is, one, make sure that you're not over risking blowing your account. Because again, like at the end of the day, like your only goal is to be able to come into the next month still being able to trade. If you went and blew your entire account this month, or funded account, live account, again, next month could be fucking phenomenal. Now you don't have an account. Now you can't trade, right? And now you can't capitalize on the greatness that next month could bring us, just because of one bad month, right? So obviously, again, you guys know I'm big quality over quantity, and this is a great month for data too. Even though we didn't see as much, even though it wasn't as good as far as price action, as far as how price was moving, could be due to the war, could be due to a lot of aspects. But nonetheless, like data is super important for me, at least this month, because it tells me a lot, and it will continue to tell me a lot if any changes need to be made. As far as my entry, as far as how I look at price. Granted, I really don't think anything will be switched up as far as my entry, right? Unless I become some type of sole just breakout trader. But nonetheless, breakout trading, it makes sense, but it doesn't. Like I like my trading to make sense, in the sense of I understand why price is doing this and why it's doing it right now, rather than just saying, oh, price is breaking this area, I'm going to buy, I'm going to sell. It works. I know people who make a shit ton of money doing that, but nonetheless, I like when it makes sense. It just gives me a little bit better confidence when it comes to, trading. And overall, like, even if I don't get a trade, like there was a lot of situations this week, or not just this week, this month, where we just didn't take a trade because we didn't get a setup, but nonetheless, price still did exactly what we wanted it to do. So we're going higher on UK 100, which is fine. We're just not getting confirmation. I assume the same thing's happening. DAX is fucking looking shit. But we have London open. UK 100 is ripping. Again, I would have no setup either way. We'll see what price does here. We could end up coming up because we still have Tokyo highs and lows open. So we could end up coming up, taking Tokyo highs, and then selling back off. So we'll see what happens. DAX is selling. Probably one of the reasons why I like your trading. It's very structured and rule based. Yeah, Lexi. Like a lot of people, like, they have rule based, systems. But like when it comes to like the way I trade, I think it makes the most sense. And obviously, like, the one thing that guys have to remember is trading doesn't have to make sense. It doesn't, right? All you have to do is like really understand, one, a general system, like have some type of edge over the market, and two, be very structured when it comes to like how you're risking and what are you going for. Because again, like, you can have a breakout system, go for a 1 to 3 every single day, lose more than you win, and still be profitable at the end of the month. Because again, on your winners you win big, and on your losers you're losing small, right? And obviously, even if you were just playing a 50-50 game, right, you're still going to be profitable as long as you're structured, as long as you stick to your plan. But NAS could sell. Yeah, I'm waiting for a NAS sell. We'll see what happens though. We'll see. I'm just waiting for a break of these lows. Well, technically I want to see a break of these lows. We attempted to, we just kind of wicked it. So that's why I want to see some type of actual displacement, some type of actual, candle closure beneath these lows. And then we can play the pullback of this leg here. So that'd be definitely ideal for us. DAX is selling too. And again, like, I honestly expect DAX to sell. Like I said, I really do, just based off higher time frames and everything, but lower time frames isn't really giving us much to play off of, right? We're still within this 15-minute bullish leg here. Clearly, I'd want to see a break of those lows, and I want to see price obviously pull back. So maybe we get a setup tonight, but price would have to move pretty fucking fat. Like, price would have to move a lot to make that move possible, right? And obviously, like, I only trade the first 2 hours. Hey Nick, first time funders account. Nervous, huh? I'm only like 3 months new to this, but thanks, Legacy fam. Good. I'm glad you're on a funded account. Again, take it slow. There's no reason to risk big. Make sure that, at the end of the day, you understand risk and understand how much contracts to risk per your stop loss. Because again, like the biggest mistake I see a lot of people make early on is they'll be like, I'm only going to trade one lot. But obviously that can, like, the price difference can differentiate based off your stop loss size. Like, you can trade one lot with a 20 point, let's say stop loss. And obviously I'm just throwing numbers out there, and that could be like, let's say 300 risk, but you can trade the same one contract with a 40 point stop loss, and now your risk is fucking doubled, right? So therefore that's where you want to be careful. But if you understand risk, if you understand how to calculate contract sizing based off your stop loss, I think you're solid. Again, just follow your system, just be confident, you'll be fine. I respect how I'm trade, but you need to have such a tight risk management awareness of volume. Yeah. So Lexi, again, like, that's why they're able to do so, is because they understand risk management, and they understand like how trading really works. And if you just have a good risk management plan, you'll be fine. But nonetheless, like, I still have a good risk management plan, but I still like to wait for my confirmations. I still like to actually play off a structure. 3 months in and funded is crazy. Good job. Yeah. Jared 30. No, it's not on Legacy, sadly. Now there's UK 100, but that's why we also are looking at NASDAQ. We would trade NASDAQ during London. Again, NASDAQ overall has just not been this good this month, even during New York, but nonetheless, we've still been seeing some decent setups. So if we see a break of these lows, we'll look for something. Well, depends. Like, sometimes we do range, right? I heard, I think Emmett's trading oil. How does oil look? I think it was oil. UK 100 ripped, guys. UK 100 fucking ripped. And again, that's why I said it could have been the situation. That's why I didn't want to take, some type of Fibonacci riskier entry where we enter at the 50%. Because again, like, at the end of the day, we didn't have confirmation. One, we never broke these lows. And if we did, no, we didn't. One, we didn't break those lows. And two, even if we did, being that we were still within this bullish, like, swing structure, like from the past and shit like that, this was a big possibility. Big possibility. Obviously, if I would have entered, it probably would have been a break of these highs. Okay. But stops would have still been all the way at these lows, which if it goes and plays out, it plays out. And that's, good data as far as, where we could have looked to shoot on UK 100 today. But nonetheless, like from a higher time frame standpoint, I'm still very bearish. Obviously, like I said, we can always, have a deeper pullback than what we did, right? And that might be the case today. We may just have a deeper pullback. But one thing I'm also noticing too is like from this 15-minute time frame, we never had a pullback of the 15-minute. So therefore, like, yes, we could have traded that 5-minute internal structure higher, but just like sells without that confirmation of a new leg higher and a pullback, it kind of just puts us at a at a risky point where it's not that we're gambling, but we just have less of a probabilities of actually catching a full move or actually catching any move, right? Because again, price could have just came up momentarily, wicked, took liquidity and sold back off, where if we would have taken that, we would have gotten fucked, right? Obviously, in this case, it looks like price is probably going to fly today, okay, on UK 100. But nonetheless, again, like I'd rather use today if we're going to get no setups on UK 100 or DAX to ultimately just see, okay, get some data and see, okay, like how could I, did I miss something, right? But nonetheless, we kind of went over everything. And the biggest thing that took me away from buys was being that we have not facilitated the pullback. We started to, and that was giving me more of a reasoning for sells overall. But nonetheless, it looks like buys are going to look to continue to play out, and that could have just been off the internal structure here, which I don't really like to trade if I don't have that confirmation. But that's where I go back to say, like, March has been very weird when it comes to this. Very weird. I have not been liking it whatsoever, to be honest. I'm in GJ buys. Let me check them. Fire. Honestly, GJ buys are fire. Took lows. Tokyo lows. We have Tokyo highs to target. Beautiful. Beautiful. But we'll see. Again, I'm going to watch UK 100 still because, again, like I said, this will be a very good data point. Like if it does just end up ripping higher, because it'll tell me that, okay, like even though that we did already facilitate a pullback, and this is already general knowledge, at least for me, I always know that we can definitely come deeper than the 50%. But the main data point will be that it's basically like stacking up how many times does it happen versus does it not. How many times does price from a higher time frame standpoint hit equilibrium and just sell off? How many times from a higher time frame standpoint does price hit equilibrium but still feel the need to go deeper? And then based off that, I can kind of, come together and say, like, my data is showing me that more than not price does have a deeper pullback than 50%. But my data right now shows that majority of the time price will just hit 50% and make its way back with its, general swing structure. So depending on like how price continues to move, like we could just be sweeping these highs. We could be sweeping these highs, taking liquidity. This could have just been a move to fake people out into thinking price is going to go higher. And then we just have a sell off to facilitate the pullback of this 15-minute bullish leg. That could be the case. Obviously, I can't say for sure. We can still continue higher, but it may be the case. And that's where, again, like I really like to see what happens and kind of put that into my data. Thanks, next time I'll definitely be watching my risk factors. Good. That's all you need to do. Obviously, that's not all you need to do, but that's a big part. You don't need to risk big, especially if you're going for RR, like higher RR. You can risk 300, right, to start. Because again, if you're going for 1 to 2, 1 to 3, that's still $600 to $900 you're making per trade. You don't need much more than that. A lot of people think, oh, I got a 100K account, I'm going to risk $1,000 per trade. You can, maybe on a Forex firm, because you have a bigger risk limit. But when it comes to futures, it's a little bit different. You don't have as much to lose, but you also don't have to make as much. So again, if you're going for 1 to 3s, risking $300, you need to catch 4 trades, 4 wins, and you pass that account. Right? But if you lose 4 trades, you're not down really nothing because, again, it's only $300 loss. So, let's see what happens on NASDAQ. I'm hoping for a nice sell-off here. GJ still selling. Looks like UK 100 could have just taken those highs. Again, we could see what happens here. Price may come down, rebalance a lot of this imbalance that was created on the opening candle, and then continue higher. Obviously, I'm still not really interested in buys, guys. It's just, we're just not sitting at the highest probability. And again, like it's not always just about like finding the highest probability trades, but it's just about understanding probabilities and realizing, okay, what's worth taking and what's not worth taking. I'd rather wait and play tomorrow's price with higher probabilities. Obviously, it's not promised that we're going to have a higher probability setup tomorrow, but nonetheless, if we don't have the probabilities to give me the confidence today, then therefore it's just not worth trading, right? That's how I look at it. Again, like, I don't need to trade. What's up, Lormings? I don't need to trade. But what I'm expecting is, depending on what price does, even if price goes higher today, guys, I'm still going to be looking for fucking sells, right? But obviously, I still need to see structure aligned in some way, shape, or form to, give me the narrative that, okay, sells are definitely, worth taking to, facilitate the pullback of this overextended 15-minute leg, right? And also in confluence with the fact that we are still bearish within a higher time frame standpoint. That's a higher probability, right? That's kind of what we're looking for here today. But nonetheless, we didn't get it, at least not yet. And two, if we do end up going lower, let's say we do go lower and we break these lows, okay, what does that tell me? We made a new low. We're bearish within the 15-minute. We're bearish within the hourly. I can go to the lower time frames and either catch a pullback of this new bearish leg, or if price had already facilitated that pullback during New York or Asia, I can look for the confirmation to go lower because I'm bearish on the hourly, I'm bearish on the 15-minute, and I'm confirming that price is now facilitating the pullback and potentially shifting lower within the fractal structure. So those are the most ideal setups for sure. DAX is definitely going lower though. We'll see how low it goes. I really do expect these lows to be taken. So tomorrow I'm hoping it's not that big of a move tonight into tomorrow and we do break these lows. Maybe during New York, we kind of play a little bit higher during Asia and then we catch these sells continuing that overall bearish trend within the higher time frames and the lower time frames to purge those lows. What's my bias on oil? What's oil again? Is it just, I know there's a name for it. Someone help me here. US oil. SP oil. Do we have to start trading oil, guys? All right. Let's break it down from a higher time frame standpoint. Super bullish. We definitely had that bearish push here, which we could be facilitating a pullback now. See, I don't even like structure here. Like if I was a breakout trader, like solely breakout, like maybe we could be dabbling into this with the break of these highs. Doesn't look too volume filled, I can't lie to you. Not like none whatsoever. I know everyone's jumping oil. Everyone's fucking jumping to oil. Nas is dropping. Boom, perfectly. Thank you for telling me that. All right, so if Nas is going to go lower, I'm going to anticipate lower price, especially because we have Tokyo lows. I think we had, no, we don't. We don't have Tokyo lows. But nonetheless, I do expect Nas to potentially facilitate the pullback of this newly 5-minute bullish leg here. We're still bearish within the hourly. We know we can definitely come down to 50%. The only way we're not going to take a trade is if price just absolutely fucking melts to 50%. But I really doubt that's going to happen. So we got some displacement. We're looking good. Yes, this is like this leg is kind of coming within our way, but I really expect these lows to be taken. I do think we can definitely catch some sells here, guys. Obviously, in this case, entry of 50%. It's from this high, sorry. It's from this high, guys, just because, again, like we never broke this low. Therefore, this isn't a new high. If we would have broke the low, this would have been our new high to play this leg lower, but not. But since we didn't, this is still our high. Okay. Fucking colorful ass markets. I know Lormings probably has this shit rainbow like that, huh, Lormings? See what happens. Again, I'll be entering aggressive here. Just because we had good displacement lower. I'm not in yet, but as soon as we hit 50% of this overall range, I will most likely enter. All right, let's get it. Sell limits there. Let's just hope we're not reacting off of this for value gap to go higher. That would suck dick, but nonetheless, I still like it. I'm still going to shoot down into the equilibrium for sure. Obviously, once first TP's hit, which is 101, I will move to break even. I'm almost considering taking off half my position because I think there was 2 situations in March where we did hit 101. Obviously, I did move to break even, but I didn't close any contracts, and price did end up coming back to break even. UK 100 still doing its thing. DAX still going lower. Like, I guess you guys could play the break of these lows here, like this 5-minute low. Just because, again, like price, or once it breaks, price, that could be the confirmation that price does want to go lower, pull back in continuation. But nonetheless, price could just be taking liquidity. Price could also just come a little bit lower within this overall bullish move, fill some imbalance, and then go higher. And that's why, like, I really just want to see a break of these lows, which probably won't happen this session. And if it does, it will probably be later into the session. Of course, Brandon, thank you for tuning in. Again, feel free to ask any questions. That goes to all you guys. Like, feel free to ask any questions. Like, that's why I'm here. Like, one thing I want to say is, like, the answers, and I tell my students this, like, the answers you're looking for are in the questions you're not asking. Again, like, questions, like, when you ask questions, I truly think you're more likely to learn than you would to be me just ranting away. Like, obviously, you guys are still going to learn a little bit with me just ranting, right? That's, you know, still inevitable in some way, shape, or form. But at the same time, wait, fuck. Okay, no, my bad. I thought my YouTube live was on the wrong screen. But nonetheless, like, I feel like a lot of the times people underestimate, like, how powerful a question can be when it comes to their own, like, learning, truly. What I do today? What did I do today? I woke up. I low-key missed New York Live, guys. I was so tired. I apologize if you guys are waiting for me today. I told you guys I was going to go live during New York. But nonetheless, I really don't think I would have traded. All right, still no excuse. Because, again, like, we had Jerome Powell talk today. I don't know how did that go today? Jerome Powell 7:30. It didn't do shit. Yeah, alarm means that's exactly what I did today. All right, guys, so we have not yet facilitated the pullback. Obviously, we attempted to. Let's see if it hit it within this leg. Did it? I barely missed. So either way, even if we were been playing this leg, which to me is not the valid leg, we wouldn't have either hit it either way. So, but now that we're continuing lower, again, this just overall expands our range from the highs to the lows. Yes, I am, Lormings. I'll be there tomorrow. Who told you that? Mama said that? I was going to say, who's leaking? He told you that personally. How many contracts should I be using my 100K futures platform account? It just depends. Like, if you're trading NASDAQ with me, I'm risking about $300. So obviously, as like price continues to expand its range, but like with a 35-point stop loss, I'd say I will be risking about 4 contracts, which is going to be around $300. I think, to me, again, like, that's enough because my wins are typically around $600, maybe sometimes a little bit more. Obviously, it depends on how risky you want to go. So if you want to risk $500, I would suggest upping your contracts to maybe 5 or 6. But at the same time, as price continues to expand, my stop loss gets bigger. So now that I'm sitting at like a 40-point stop loss, if I go to a 45-point stop loss, I'll probably end up decreasing my contracts to 3 contracts, just because, again, like my stop's getting bigger. Therefore, that means I do need to lower my contracts. But if you're trading and asking based off the NASDAQ trade that I'm looking at, I would suggest anywhere from 3 to 4 contracts to risk appropriately. But that's around $300 to $400 risk to make $600 to $800. Obviously, if you want to make $1,000 on this trade of your contract by one, yes, this is Micro's M&Q. From Forex, hell yeah. How do you like Forex? Nah, Mark leaked it. I think Mama talked about it this morning though. Oh, okay. Fucking Mark. Mark's always leaking it. Nah, I don't think it matters. But yeah, I'll be at Mambas tomorrow. And be like, bro, let me drive the SVJ. I haven't been to Mark's new apartment. No, not yet. Not yet. I think he's getting it all together and stuff like that. So. What's up, Henry? Henry, it's been a minute. We've been missing you. I think Mamba is Jewish. I don't think he is. Good morning, George. He said he was having dinner tonight. He invited me. He gets some fuck with him. Nah, the thing is, I can go to... Oh, fuck. I need to move my entry. The thing is, I can go to Mark's whenever. I just haven't. So currently down the trade, we're waiting on the pullback to sell. Yeah. So currently I'm just waiting on the pullback into the equilibrium of this overall range here to kind of give me the entry that I want back down to the fib down here, or just a 1 and 2 truly, which comes right before the fib, which is pretty beautiful. So I guess I was on it for 5 years. I got used to it, but I like the compounding that futures platforms will be allowing because it's possible to make really good bread with like that. Yeah. That's definitely something good that like about futures. It is just obviously like in the sense of like having to like learn a whole new like platform and, you know, understanding contract sizing and stuff like that. The best way to go about it too is like either look up like a contract calculator to kind of get a better idea of, okay, like if I want to risk this much, how many contracts do I risk? And then in due time, you'll start to be able to kind of like just be like eyeball it and stuff like that, and just be able to understand like the risk sizing based off your stop loss size and stuff like that. So an ETA and legacy copy trade. I don't have an ETA for you on that, but I know it's something that the backend team's working on. So yeah, there's a couple things, and we'll probably have a meeting tomorrow when we go to Mamba's and talk about some things as far as, you know, implementation of certain aspects, maybe even certain different accounts. Like I know someone was talking to me about how they want like a daily payout account. If that's something you guys are interested, you know, maybe we do end up coming out with something like that where you are eligible for daily payouts. You know, kind of how like some of these other firms do have it, like Tradeify and stuff like that. But obviously like that definitely needs to be talked about and everything along those lines. So we'll see what happens. But yeah. But again, for people on YouTube, what's up? Again, if you guys are new here, I talked about it yesterday. Again, go watch the new fucking video, guys. Go watch the new video. Go get the giveaway. Again, all my videos, like I only have 28 likes. There's 34 of you in here. I should at least have 34 fucking likes and comments. Because again, if you put a comment, you get put into a giveaway. Congrats. YouTube, there it is for you as well. Looking buff in that tank. Thank you. But honestly, I feel like I need to lock back in with I need to lock back in. I could look better. So that's my mindset. $60. Let's go, Mac. I could look better. And I think that goes for everyone. Like, even if I was like 6-pack shredded right now, I could look better. You know, like that would still be my mindset. You can always look better. You can always do better. So that should be your mindset. Joris, I feel like you're a beast. Joris works out a lot. I feel like Joris is low key like wears a pump cover and pulls it off, and he's just like 8-pack shredded. But yeah, I was pretty lean last year. I low key, the traveling, the going out definitely didn't help. Like, you know, but nonetheless, again, like it's just about locking back in, which I have been. It's just eating. Like I love carbs, which again, carbs aren't necessarily bad, but like I used to be like when I was in school, like because when I was in high school, I was a fat fucking kid. Like I'm gonna be honest with you guys. And what really got me lean was like I for like almost a full year entirely cut out carbs. Like I said, fuck carbs. Like I was eating very little to no carbs and just basically like straight just protein. And that leaned me out so much, so fucking much. But at the same time, like, no, I'm not in a trade yet, guys. I'm still waiting. But at the same time, I do realize I did lose some muscle in that time. So that's why I'm, trying to take a different approach as far as implementing more carbs, less fats, and just overall trying to have a slower cut rather than a faster cut. So we'll see how that goes, though. I think my body just responds best when I am no carbs, but workouts are definitely a lot harder. Steam room is a hack. Yeah, that's something I definitely used to do a lot was the sauna, a lot of cardio. Like that's definitely what helped a lot is a lot of cardio. It's just about like really like being dedicated. I think at one point like I was trying to do like 2 hours a day of Stairmaster or like 1 hour treadmill, 1 hour Stairmaster. And that really got me lean. Just try to get carbs out of rice, pasta, potatoes. If you consume them, they're important if you go to the gym a lot. Yeah, George. That's what I've been doing. Like mainly my main source right now is like sweet potatoes or rice is generally my main carb source. And then other than that, it's just like pure protein. But it's a lot slower game, I'd say. Beefcake. Mac, what's your profile pic? What gym you liking? What do you mean? I had visible abs years ago before I had my carditis. Now just fast food. Damn. What is oil code and legacy? Joris said it earlier. Joris, I think you know it, right? We into trade? Oh fuck, we are? Oh shit. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. So we'll see what happens. I don't like that closure, if I'm being 100% honest with you guys. But nonetheless, we're in it, I guess. I don't like that large volume spike, to be honest. I would have rather price had come into it a little bit slower. But we'll see what happens here. So we are in this trade now. We'll see how price plays. Once we get into 101, which is these lows, I will be moving to break even if we get to that point. We'll see what happens. I really just don't like how fast price came up within that last minute. Yeah, WTI. Anna. WTI is oil. But nonetheless, obviously it's still a good setup as far as understanding that we are bearish within this internal structure. We know that price has a higher probability of coming down than it does going higher, especially from a higher time frame standpoint of seeing this overall bullish leg. We know that price can and most likely will facilitate a pullback into the equilibrium, potentially even lower due to the fact that we have a shit ton of imbalance sitting down here that price may want to fill. But at the same time, again, just like UK 100, where we can or I was expecting sales on UK 100, but nonetheless we did end up going higher, right? It's just about one, where the probability is sitting for today, and two, what's the second part? And two, what price's objective is for the day. Truly, again, you can have the highest probability setup and still end up losing because again, price could have a totally different objective for the day. No, I'm still in. Even though I didn't like how price closed, I'm still in. Stops at the highs. We'll see what happens with those guys. If price just starts kind of stuttering around for like 10-15 minutes, I'm probably just going to hop off stream and let price play and do its thing. Obviously, we'll talk about it tomorrow, but nonetheless, we'll stick here for like 5 or 10 minutes, see what happens. Kind of looks like manipulation. Yeah, I could have been coming up, taking these highs. filling in this like fair value gap right here and then looking to go lower. But nonetheless, like I don't like that. Like I wish price came into the equilibrium with this type of like sideways movement, just because again it kind of indicates that price is slowing down. This volume spike could be the end of us, in the sense of, again, we saw a lot of volume step into the market for buys, or for from a bullish standpoint. Could come rip these highs, could come up and take these highs. Again, that's why my stops are at these highs, because we could see price come up, use these highs as liquidity to then sell back off. Obviously, that's why I don't have set stops anymore, because again, if you guys remember, we were starting with 10-point stops, which in this case we would have damn near been taken out. A lot of cases it was fine, because again we were trading volume, but nonetheless, we'll see. What's up, Michael? Let's see what happens on NASDAQ. It's the last trade of the month. I'm just honestly excited to get out of this month. This month has been a shit show, truly. Just not the best. Not the best candle. Wait, what is it, Joris? My birthday month finna hit fire. Me too. I'm in April. What day, Lormings? If it's the same day as me, then you gotta change it up. Wow, no way, Lormings. I'm the 22nd. I swear I'm the 22nd. I'm not about to pull out my ID, but I can assure you I'm April 22nd. If price starts kind of feeling this in this imbalance, how it's doing right now with these bottom wicks and ripping higher, we could be fucked. We Loki brothers. Horrible bottom wick on the 15-minute. But nonetheless, I got to stick strong with the bias. Google says information of the heart. Oh. I'm sorry, Henry. Nick, what's up, Nick? What's up, TX Real? Sorry, I wasn't looking at YouTube chat. My fault. You collapsed in the gym? Wow. That is scary. Genuinely scary. Go better for buys up to highs. Let's peep. We were sitting like mid-range of Tokyo. So I think we kind of have the possibility to do either sell off to take lows or either buy up to take highs. Lower time frame is still looking kind of, I mean, we were previously bullish, but it looks like we came down to potentially flip the overall trend. I'm just not really liking it. I got in on NQ or MNQ, but you could wait for price to kind of come back down to our break-even point to re-enter our entry point, just because we're still reacting pretty bullish, which I don't like. I don't like. But nonetheless, like I kind of told you guys off the rip that this candle was pretty nasty. Like there's too much volume within this candle, which obviously like doesn't necessarily mean price is going to go higher, but definitely can be a big signifier, a big tell all in price going higher when you do see these volume filled candles still going up when you expect, obviously lower prices. I've been hearing a lot of that CPU2 NAS and gold has been looking the same apparently. So what's MNQ versus NQ? So MNQ is micros, NQ is minis. It's just when it comes down to it, micros is a lot smaller tick size. So I believe it's 25 cents a tick on MNQ. And it's what, 250? No, it's $5 a tick on NQ. So generally speaking, if you're looking to risk smaller, I would trade MNQ. The 1 minute chart is hard to look at. Yeah, I can agree. I've never been a fan of the 1 minute chart. But nonetheless, like when it comes to NQ, I prefer trading a 1 minute chart in alignment with obviously the higher time frames. Like same thing with UK100 and DAX. Like, yes, I don't trade the 1 minute. I trade the 5 minute solely, but I also trade the 15 minute. And I also make sure that we're in alignment with the higher time frames, like the hour and 4 hour. But it looks like DAX did end up ripping lower. This could be like, this is where I'm going to be paying attention a lot to DAX is, was this just a pullback within this overall bullish like time frame, or this bullish like, oh my, this 15-minute bullish leg to end up going higher? Or is it signifying that price is definitely internally bearish, breaking these lows, and we're just pulling back within that new 5-minute bearish leg to continue lower? You know, obviously time will tell. Same thing with UK 100. Obviously with UK 100 we're going higher here, right? But I told you guys my overall bias on that. Could tap into 4-hour gap will continue lower. Yeah. Again, like there's a possibility we go higher here too, guys. And the reason I could say we could go higher is just because, again, like from a higher time frame standpoint, we've been bearish for a while on NQ, and we could be looking to facilitate a pullback. Okay, but nonetheless, again, we were still signifying within the lower time frames that the 15-minute was still giving us this bearish leg. We had a pullback of that, and we started to shift lower within the 1-minute time frame. So therefore, again, like we were still looking good within that aspect of things. It's just a matter of, again, like, are we on the right side of the market today? We may not be, we may be. It really just depends on what price continues to do. But we'll see. Yes, I just have to be in good condition, no cold or any other illness. Oh, shit. So is traveling hard for you, Henry? I opted on that DAX trade, not going to lie. On sells or buys? Like these sells, Michael? For sells, okay, fire. Again, like sells can definitely play out here too. It's just because, again, like one, we can definitely come and take these lows, being that we just created a new low within that internal structure. My only hesitation is truly this leg here. Just because, again, like this leg could be signifying we do want to still go higher. We're just creating a pullback of that 15-minute leg or that 5-minute swing leg to go higher, right? That could be definitely be the case, but nonetheless, like even if we do go higher, I think it'll be short term unless we want to flip trend and like change our overall swing bearish trend to a bullish trend. That could be the case, obviously, especially because if we look at the daily time frame, one thing that I'm noticing is like from a daily standpoint, we have facilitated a pullback. We can definitely go higher now that we have facilitated that pullback and finished that overall daily bullish swing trend. But nonetheless, like daily is really not that important here, but it can be. Just going to the gym, cardio and stuff. Oh, okay, makes sense. Looks like we're gonna get fucked on NASDAQ, guys. What was it, first trade of the week for me? First trade of the week, last trade of the month. Obviously, we're still in it, but nonetheless, we'll see what price does. We could end up coming up, taking these highs. We're starting to see some hesitation here, not as strong candles, but nonetheless, like we have been seeing a nice little bit bullish push. Could just be a deeper pullback. That's why my stops are at these highs, because again, we have had situations where we do near stops and still end up making our sell off. So obviously, I'm still in it to get in it. I'm not going to get out early. Obviously, if it hits my stops, I'm at a good risk. If it comes back down to break even, I'm not getting out of break even. I'm going to let it play out into either 101 or it hits my stop loss. All right, there's nothing else to trip over. So, but again, we'll see what happens on NAS. If we do end up getting taken out, we'll kind of go over the bias because I am going to be getting off stream soon. If we get taken out on NASDAQ, we can kind of, form an idea of why we could have been taken out. We can, start with like the 1 minute to see if like we were playing the wrong structure. Nonetheless, I do think we were playing good structure in the sense of seeing price continuously make new lows within here. Again, like I said, we could have been reacting off something like this, this bullish leg to go higher. That definitely could be the case here just because we are printing pretty strong. Sucks that that's the case, but now that we've taken these highs, we're pretty much within the last candle that's going to decide our fate here. But nonetheless, we'll see what happens. If we do end up going higher, I generally don't think we will go much higher. We obviously can, but we definitely can. We probably will if we do end up getting stopped out. Probably come up to here. Could end up facilitating that pullback eventually during New York or later in London. Or again, at the end of the day, like we are super bearish, where price could just be now looking to have some type of overall extended move to now flip our trend from bearish to bullish, and we could have just been on the wrong side of the market today. I think I'm taken out. About to be taken out, guys. Wow, first loss of the week. Going to the gym is just cold. Buying or selling NQ. Well, we got into sells, and we're about to get fucked over. I'm like edging stop right now. We're definitely gonna get stopped out. But like I said, $300 risk. That's why again, like I'm fine with the lower risk, just because again I know I was gonna make more money winning with a bigger RR. We lost, but in this case we only lost $300. So we'll see what happens. Again, it'd suck if price just wick doesn't continue lower. I don't think that's gonna be the case. I think that now price that it's printing higher, it's gonna continue higher. Okay. Obviously, I'm not going to flip trend. I definitely could. Like now that price, if it does break these highs, we could end up looking for some buys. But obviously, I'm probably going to get off just because it's getting later into the session. I'm going to continue to trade, right? So again, if I do see some type of setup, maybe for buys, I will potentially take buys. But nonetheless, I'm still bearish on the day. So that's where I may end up straying away from buys. But we'll see. We could have waited maybe for a 5-minute leg here lower to take those sells or something along those lines. But nonetheless, I still like these. So we ended up taking liquidity here. Oops. Broke these lows. Had a nice 5-minute pullback. And we were just looking to continue that overall bearish 5-minute trend into these lows. But we held. So we'll see what happens. DAX, we're going higher. UK 100 going higher. Again, I'm going to get data off of this. DAX, we didn't have a setup. Obviously, we had a setup for UK 100, but it never confirmed itself. It just ripped. NASDAQ was our only setup for today. We'll see what happens. I'm kind of glad to just get out of this month. Granted, this is our first trade of the week, first loss of the week. We'll take it for what it is. We'll be back tomorrow. But, wow, it's fucking hot. I need to turn my fan on. Good thing I'm still on GG buys. Are they ripping? Hell yeah. So again, looks like NAS is obviously continuing to rip. We could flip trend, like I said, and overall look for some type of buying opportunity. But at the end of the day, I am still pretty bearish overall. If we would have broken these lows and then flipped buys, I would have been more bullish than anything. But nonetheless, being that we didn't do that and we're still staying within this 5-minute bearish trend, I have to see a break of these highs for me to even consider any type of buying opportunity here. So we'll see what happens. It'd suck if price does just end up selling right back off after taking us out. Even though stops were in the correct place. We're looking good. Trying to look at price to see. But it is what it is. So that being said, I'm out of here, guys. Still a good stream. Looks like a textbook liquidity setup. Down here. Where? Or just taking liquidity. Where's our Tokyo? Could be targeting Tokyo highs, to be honest with you. Liquidity sweep at highs. Yeah, we'll see what happens, guys. If price just sweeps liquidity and sells back off, it is what it is. Like, again, like, at the end of the day, like, what I'm mainly looking for right now is, was my directional bias correct? Meaning, as London continues to progress, does price continue to play out into the lows that I expected it to go? Because if that's the case, again, it is what it is. We took a loss. Directional bias was correct. That's good data. But if it goes to show that price does continue bullish for the rest of London into New York, okay, that tells me directional bias was wrong. Was that something due to the fact of how we, analyze price to begin with? And if there was something that I missed, obviously that's going to be put into data. But just based off how everything looks right now, I don't think I missed anything. It was just the fact that price had a different objective, and that was either to take more liquidity or overall just wanted to go higher today. That being said, I'm out of here. I'll be back tomorrow. Again, tomorrow will be better. Hopefully, first week of first day of the month, or April will be tomorrow. I'll be back. Don't trip. Small loss. With that being said, again, remember, if you guys want a legacy account, it's 20% off right now. So go get that using code Nick. Super cheap discount. Yeah, I think we're bearish. Just might retrace a bit before coming down. Yeah, we'll see, Lormings. Again, I'll be attentive. If you guys are in my personal Discord, obviously I'll be talking about things in there. YouTube, that's the link as well. If you guys want a legacy account, you can use code Nick for 20% off. But I'm out of here. I'll still be on the markets, still be looking at things, maybe calling stuff out in my personal Discord if I take anything. But nonetheless, I think I'm done trading for today. We'll take the loss. We'll be back tomorrow. What's my personal Discord? You can click my name. I just sent a message. Click my name and press view full bio, and it's in my bio. So you can go ahead and do that. You'll see me in there. I'll turn on my account. I'm also on the right-hand side, Niicksfx. Just click me, view full bio. You'll see it in there. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Later, YouTube.